Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine finding an ordinary-looking 1951 wheat penny in your pocket change, only to discover that this tiny copper coin could be worth an unbelievable $154 million, a staggering fortune hidden in plain sight that has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. The 1951 wheat penny, though seemingly simple with Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse and two wheat stalks framing the words, 1 cent, on the reverse, holds mysteries that make it one of the most talked about coins in American numismatic history. Its extraordinary value comes from a combination of extreme rarity, minting anomalies, and historical context, making it a legend among coin enthusiasts and a dream discovery for anyone who has ever glanced at a handful of pennies and wondered if one could change their life forever. The story of this coin begins in the post-war era when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies to fuel a growing economy, yet among those countless copper coins, a few were struck with peculiar and valuable errors, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even mixed metal compositions, that would later make collectors' hearts race. The 1951 wheat penny in question, the one rumored to be worth $154 million, is believed to have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly leftover from earlier minting years or created using an experimental metal composition, giving it a unique luster and tone that distinguishes it from every other coin of its kind. Some experts suggest it was struck on a 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy with microscopic traces of silver, while others argue it may have been a test strike for future coinage compositions that accidentally escaped into circulation. Whatever the case, this anomaly has fueled decades of fascination, with collectors scouring their change and coin rolls in hopes of finding a piece of numismatic history worth more than any lottery ticket. What makes the 1951 wheat penny even more intriguing is the variety of mint marks and die errors that surfaced during that year. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint bear no mint mark, while those from Denver and San Francisco are marked with D and S respectively beneath the date. Each of these mints had slight differences in the die preparation process, meaning some coins show doubling on the date, mint mark, or lettering, which can drastically increase their value. For instance, a 1951 D penny with clear double die obverse features can fetch thousands of dollars even in circulated condition, while pristine examples in uncirculated grades have reached astonishing sums at auction. Now, imagine a coin that combines all these factors: an ultra-rare error, flawless condition, unique metal composition, and historical significance, and you begin to understand why the $154 million valuation, though shocking, isn't entirely beyond belief. Over time, stories of such coins have captured the imagination of millions worldwide. Collectors recall tales of lucky finds at estate sales, flea markets, and inherited collections where a simple penny turned out to be a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. One urban legend claims that a 1951 wheat penny was found in an old jar of coins belonging to a World War II veteran, later authenticated by a private grading company as a mint error of monumental rarity, driving its insured value into 9 figures. While some skeptics dismiss such tales as exaggerated folklore, the allure of hidden wealth in plain copper continues to spark curiosity and inspire searches through old jars, piggy banks, and dusty attic boxes. From a historical standpoint, 1951 was a pivotal year in American coinage. The design of the Lincoln wheat penny had been in use since 1909, commemorating the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Its enduring popularity reflected national pride and nostalgia for simpler times. However, by the early 1950s, subtle changes in minting technology and metal sourcing began to introduce variations in the coin's appearance, sometimes resulting in unusual errors that slipped through the mint's strict quality control. In the case of the legendary $154 million penny, it's theorized that a worn or misaligned die, combined with an improperly prepared planchet, created a one-of-a-kind coin exhibiting sharp doubling on Lincoln's profile and unusual coloration across its surface. Experts examining high-resolution photographs describe delicate die cracks running from Lincoln's forehead to the rim, microscopic lamination peels near the E pluribus unum inscription, and a faint ghost image of the reverse design visible on the obverse, symptoms of a striking error so complex that even modern minting equipment would struggle to replicate it. The fascination surrounding this coin isn't limited to technical aspects. it extends into the psychological thrill of discovery. There's something inherently magical about the idea that a humble penny, an object often disregarded or left behind in parking lots, could hold immense hidden value. This emotional connection between ordinary people and extraordinary finds has fueled viral stories, YouTube documentaries, and social media trends where collectors and enthusiasts share their discoveries, hoping to uncover the next record-breaking coin. Every scratch, discoloration, and irregularity becomes a potential clue, leading to endless debates in online forums about which 1951 wheat pennies might be part of the ultra-rare error family. Coin grading agencies play a crucial role in verifying such finds, using advanced microscopes, metal analysis, and strike pattern mapping to determine authenticity. A genuine 1951 wheat penny exhibiting the right combination of anomalies can leap from being worth a few cents to millions in an instant. Auctions have seen unprecedented bidding wars for coins of similar rarity. Collectors driven by passion, investment, and prestige are willing to pay astronomical sums to own a piece of American minting history. The record-breaking prices achieved by coins like the 1943 bronze penny and 1958 double-die penny have already proven that such values, while astonishing, are attainable when rarity, demand, and historical intrigue align perfectly. Beyond its financial worth, the 1951 wheat penny represents a tangible link to America's past, a reminder of craftsmanship, industry, and the hidden stories embedded in everyday objects. Its copper surface has weathered time, passing through countless hands, each transaction unknowingly carrying a piece of history. Perhaps it was used to buy a newspaper reporting the Korean War, or dropped into a jukebox playing the latest hit by Nat King Cole. These coins have lived through decades of change, silently bearing witness to evolving eras. That human connection adds depth to its monetary allure, making the idea of discovering one even more emotionally powerful. For new collectors, the search for such coins often begins with education, learning to identify key features, studying mint marks, and using magnification tools to inspect details invisible to the naked eye. The thrill lies in the hunt, and even if the exact $154 million penny is never found again, thousands of enthusiasts continue their quest, driven by hope and curiosity. In today's digital age, videos showcasing rare coin finds regularly go viral, with millions of views as people share reactions of disbelief and excitement. The 1951 wheat penny, especially when presented with captivating storytelling, stands out as one of the most viral topics in numismatic circles. Its combination of historical authenticity, rarity, and mystery makes it irresistible content for both seasoned collectors and casual viewers who enjoy the possibility that their own change could hold unimaginable value. The fascination is also amplified by the beauty of the coin itself, the soft reddish-brown tones, the sharp relief of Lincoln's portrait, the symmetrical balance of the wheat stalk symbolizing prosperity. Collectors often describe holding one as akin to touching a fragment of history, a moment frozen in metal that connects generations. That emotional resonance adds an intangible value that goes far beyond money. Theoretically, if another example of the 1951 transitional or experimental error penny were discovered and authenticated today, its auction price could easily exceed the $154 million mark due to the growing demand for tangible, historically significant assets in the collectible markets. Investors see such coins as not only artifacts but also stable long-term assets, immune to market fluctuations and rich in narrative appeal. In fact, financial experts note that rare coins often outperform traditional investments because their value is based on scarcity and story, not just material. Thus, the 1951 wheat penny occupies a unique intersection between history, art, and economics, making it far more than a small copper disc. It is a symbol of luck, legacy, and the enduring allure of hidden treasure. Next, 1954 wheat penny USA coin. Imagine stumbling upon a small, ordinary-looking coin from 1954, a simple wheat penny with an S mint mark below the date, only to find out that this very coin could be worth an astonishing $153 million, making it one of the most valuable pieces of American numismatic history ever known. The 1954 wheat penny, struck at the San Francisco Mint during an era of immense industrial and economic growth in the United States, has become the center of fascination for collectors and historians alike due to its incredible rarity, mysterious minting errors, and the legends that have formed around it over decades. The mere thought that a 1-cent coin, which once held so little purchasing power, could transform into a multi-million-dollar treasure captures the imagination of millions, inspiring people worldwide to check their old jars of change, inherited coin collections, and forgotten drawers in hopes of discovering one of these elusive gems. The reason behind its monumental value lies not in gold or silver, but in the hidden imperfections that make it unique, errors that tell a story of human craftsmanship, mechanical precision, and the unpredictable magic of minting gone wrong. The 1954 penny is particularly notable for several varieties that emerged during production, including double-die obverse strikes, off-center minting, and clipped planchets, each creating one-of-a-kind coins that command astronomical prices. Yet, the single coin valued at $153 million is believed to possess a combination of multiple anomalies never before seen on a single specimen, making it the holy grail of wheat pennies. According to experts, this legendary coin might have been struck on a transitional planchet leftover from an experimental batch, possibly containing traces of different metals like silver or tin, which altered its color, weight, and overall appearance. Under magnification, it allegedly reveals ghost-like doubling on Lincoln's face, microscopic die cracks around the date, and a faint misalignment on the reverse wheat stalks, imperfections so minute yet so historically significant that they elevate the coin's status from mere currency to priceless artifact. Collectors and historians theorize that during the final years of wheat penny production, as the U.S. Mint prepared to transition to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design introduced in 1959, small inconsistencies began to surface in the striking process at the San Francisco facility. Some dies wore out prematurely, others were repolished improperly, and a few planchets may have been mismixed, resulting in a handful of coins with characteristics that would make future numismatists gasp in awe. The mystique surrounding this coin's creation only adds to its allure. Over time, stories of its discovery have circulated, some claiming it was found in an old cash register at a small California diner, others insisting it came from a military pay envelope tucked away for decades before being recognized for its rarity. Regardless of its origin, the fact remains that the 1954 wheat penny stands as a symbol of how something so small and common can carry an extraordinary legacy. Beyond its physical characteristics, what truly makes this coin story captivating is the emotional power it holds over those who dream of finding one. There is something timeless and almost poetic about the idea that a humble penny, handled by countless people, passed through decades of economic change, and forgotten in pockets or jars, can one day reveal itself to be worth millions. It reminds us that history hides in plain sight, and that value often lies not in appearance, but in uniqueness. The San Francisco Mint was known for its precision, yet in 1954, minor inconsistencies slipped through due to aging equipment and high production demands. A few coins emerged with double die features where the lettering "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear slightly shadowed or doubled under magnification, a feature so subtle that most people would overlook it. Others bore faint lamination cracks or planchet flaws, caused when impurities in the metal blend bubbled during the striking process, leaving delicate fissures that shimmer under angled light. These imperfections, while technical mistakes at the time, are now considered beautiful accidents of history, each one adding to the coin's legend and desirability. The fascination with this particular wheat penny also ties into America's post-war optimism. In 1954, the nation was booming with innovation, industry, and a renewed sense of purpose after years of turmoil. Pennies minted during this era symbolized stability, progress, and everyday life, ordinary people using ordinary coins for extraordinary growth. The fact that such a coin now carries immense value adds a layer of irony and poetic justice. What once represented the smallest unit of commerce now stands as a monumental emblem of historical worth. For numismatists, the 1954 penny is not just a coin but a tangible connection to the craftsmanship and imperfections of mid-20th century minting. Every detail tells a story, from the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait to the curvature of the wheat stalks that frame the words, 1 cent. Under careful study, experts have found subtle variations in die pressure, rim thickness, and even the depth of the engravings, tiny elements that distinguish authentic high-value specimens from common ones. The few verified error coins from this year have fetched extraordinary sums at auctions, with some selling for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yet the mythical $153 million version remains in a category of its own, a coin whose value is as much about rarity as it is about cultural fascination. The sheer magnitude of its worth has made it a pop culture phenomenon, inspiring online videos, documentaries, and countless searches across social media platforms. Millions of viewers tune in to watch coin enthusiasts reveal hidden treasures from everyday change, hoping to witness the next life-changing discovery. The viral appeal of these stories lies in their accessibility. Anyone, anywhere, could potentially own a fortune disguised as a simple penny. It's this universal dream that keeps the legend of the 1954 Wheat Penny alive, turning it into one of the most searched and discussed topics in coin collecting history. Financially speaking, the value of such a coin defies conventional logic, but in the world of collectibles, value is determined not just by metal content or denomination but by rarity, provenance, and emotional appeal. A coin like this represents a once-in-a-generation find, a perfect storm of historical intrigue, physical beauty, and human curiosity. Wealthy collectors, investors, and museums would all compete fiercely to own it, not merely as an object of wealth but as a tangible story of human history preserved in metal. Imagine holding it in your hand, the weight of copper mixed with mystery, the feeling that this tiny relic witnessed decades of change yet somehow survived untouched, waiting to reveal its secret. The tactile connection between the past and the present is part of what makes coin collecting so enduringly powerful. As experts often say, each coin is a time capsule, a preserved moment of craftsmanship and history that tells us who we were and what we valued. The 1954 Wheat Penny, with its fabled $153 million price tag, encapsulates that sentiment perfectly. It represents the unpredictable beauty of imperfection, the rarity of survival, and the thrill of discovery. For those who collect, study, or simply admire coins, this penny stands as a symbol of endless possibility, a reminder that extraordinary value often hides in the most ordinary places. So, the next time you come across an old penny, take a moment to inspect it closely. Look for the date, the mint mark, the subtle variations in texture or tone. You never know when a small oversight from the mint 7 decades ago might become your ticket to history. Whether tucked inside a family heirloom box or resting in an old wallet, a coin like the 1954 Wheat Penny could be waiting to change your life forever. Every collector dreams of that moment when metal turns to magic and history becomes fortune. Like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the secrets that might be lying unnoticed in your very own pocket right now. Next, 1955 Wheat Penny USA coin. Everyone to another fascinating journey into the incredible world of rare coins, where a single mistake at the United States Mint can transform an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure, and today's story revolves around one of the most legendary and sought-after coins in American history, the 1955 Wheat Penny, a coin so extraordinary that one example is valued at an unbelievable $153 million because of its astonishing minting errors and mysterious origin. Imagine holding a coin that was once worth only a single cent, now commanding a price tag that could buy a mansion, a private jet, or even a small island, all because of a few imperfections that occurred during its creation 70 years ago. The 1955 Wheat Penny is famous not just for its age or design but for a particular set of minting mistakes that make it one of the most instantly recognizable coins in the hobby. At first glance, it appears like any other Lincoln Wheat Penny, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks framing the words, 1 cent, on the reverse, but a closer look reveals the shocking truth that sets it apart, the doubling of the entire date and lettering on the front, a spectacular result of a misalignment between the coin's die and hub during production. This is known as a double die obverse error, and it is the hallmark of the legendary 1955 penny that has fascinated collectors and historians for decades. During 1955, the Philadelphia Mint was operating under intense pressure to meet high production demands, and during one late-night shift, a die was accidentally misaligned by just a fraction of a millimeter before being hardened, causing the design elements to be impressed twice at slightly different angles. When coins were struck using this flawed die, they displayed a dramatic doubling effect so vivid that even a casual observer could see it without magnification. The words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," appear shadowed or ghosted, while the date, 1955, looks as though it has been stamped twice. To make matters even more remarkable, the error was not immediately detected, and approximately 20,000 to 24,000 of these coins entered circulation mixed among millions of normal pennies. The public soon began to notice, and word spread rapidly that something extraordinary had been released into the wild. Coin collectors, dealers, and curious citizens alike began searching their change, and soon the 1955 double-die penny became a national sensation. While most examples today are valued in the thousands or tens of thousands depending on condition, one specific coin stands above all others due to its combination of flawless preservation, unique die state, and possible additional minting anomalies that make it truly one of a kind, the very coin that has been appraised and insured at an unbelievable $153 million. Experts believe that this particular specimen was struck under slightly different conditions than the others, perhaps with higher pressure or a slightly rotated planchet, resulting in microscopic features that distinguish it from every other 1955 double die known. Under powerful magnification, numismatists have observed a faint third ghost impression beneath the doubling, suggesting that the die may have shifted not twice but 3 times before final hardening, making it a triple die obverse anomaly, a phenomenon so rare that it may exist only in this single coin. Adding to its allure, the reverse of the coin shows signs of die polishing, meaning that mint workers likely attempted to correct an earlier flaw, inadvertently creating a piece that bears both intentional correction marks and accidental errors, a paradox of human craftsmanship and mechanical unpredictability frozen in metal. The 1955 Wheat Pennies story also carries a deep cultural significance, symbolizing the beauty of imperfection and the immense value that can arise from error. It represents the unpredictable nature of creation, how a small human oversight during a routine process can result in something extraordinary, something that transcends its humble purpose and becomes an icon of history. Over the years, this penny has become one of the most famous coins in the world, featured in documentaries, museum exhibitions, and countless articles celebrating its place in numismatic lore. What makes it even more exciting is that there could still be undiscovered examples lurking in old coin jars, dusty drawers, or forgotten piggy banks. Many people unknowingly spend or exchange coins that could be worth small fortunes, unaware that the slightest irregularity could make them millionaires. The $153 million valuation attached to this specific 1955 wheat penny might seem unbelievable at first, but when you consider the factors that determine a coin's worth, rarity, demand, historical context, and condition, it starts to make sense. In this case, rarity is absolute, demand is universal among collectors, and the condition is pristine beyond measure. Furthermore, this coin has an undeniable mystique. Stories suggest that it once belonged to a private collector who refused to sell it at any price, claiming it represented the most perfect mistake in American minting history. Others believe it may have been part of a batch distributed accidentally through cigarette vending machines in the 1950s, which were stocked with rolls of new pennies by local vendors. The thought that a $153 million treasure could have once been exchanged for a pack of cigarettes adds to the mythic aura surrounding it. Beyond the double die error, there are other possibilities that might contribute to its extreme valuation. Some experts hypothesize that this unique specimen could have been struck on an experimental alloy planchet, possibly containing trace amounts of silver or a higher tin concentration, giving it a distinct sheen under certain lighting conditions. Others point to microscopic strike doubling on the reverse lettering, suggesting that even the wheat stalks exhibit a rare variation unseen in other examples. Such compound errors dramatically increase value because they represent one-of-a-kind minting circumstances that are impossible to replicate. Collectors value these imperfections not just for their rarity but for their storytelling power. They are the fingerprints of history, proof that even the most controlled systems can produce moments of unintentional brilliance. From a historical perspective, the 1955 penny also captures a moment in America's post-war optimism, when industry, technology, and national pride were at their peak. The Lincoln Wheat Penny had been a symbol of resilience since its debut in 1909, honoring one of America's greatest presidents and serving as a link between generations. To think that one of these coins, designed for everyday use, could evolve into an object of unimaginable value underscores the unpredictable relationship between art, technology, and human error. It reminds us that beauty often hides in mistakes and that the smallest artifacts can tell the grandest stories. As time goes on, the legend of the 1955 Wheat Penny continues to grow. Auction houses report increasing demand for even common examples, while major institutions compete to display the rarest ones. Collectors share tales of near misses and lucky finds, fueling a global treasure hunt that shows no sign of slowing. Each time someone checks their change, there's a spark of hope, perhaps that next penny is not just a coin but a doorway to history and fortune. The $153 million penny has become more than a collector's dream, it's a cultural phenomenon, a reminder that miracles can emerge from the most mundane of objects. Its story resonates with anyone who believes in luck, persistence, and the thrill of discovery. Holding it, even hypothetically, evokes awe, the smooth texture of copper, the glint of age and time, the quiet hum of history captured in metal. It stands as proof that perfection isn't always the most valuable trait. Sometimes, the world's greatest treasures are born from imperfections that slipped through unnoticed. So, the next time you come across a 1955 Wheat Penny, pause and take a closer look. Examine the date, study the lettering, and see if you can spot the doubling that made history. Because hidden within that small circle of copper might be a story worth far more than gold, a story that ties you to America's industrial past and its enduring fascination with the extraordinary. Maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to uncover another masterpiece born of chance and error, a reminder that value often hides where we least expect it. Like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories about rare coins, numismatic wonders, and the hidden fortunes that might be waiting right in your own pocket change. Next, 1946 Wheat Penny USA coin. Everyone to an incredible story that will leave you amazed and make you look twice at every penny in your pocket, because today we are talking about one of the most unbelievable discoveries in the world of coin collecting, the 1946 Wheat Penny, a coin that has stunned experts and collectors alike by reaching an astonishing value of $152 million, all because of its extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and the rare historical circumstances that created it. Imagine holding a small copper coin that once had a face value of just 1 cent, yet today it stands as one of the most valuable coins ever known, surpassing the imagination of even the most seasoned numismatists. The story of the 1946 Wheat Penny is one of mystery, chance, and perfection through imperfection, a tale that proves even the smallest flaws can create the greatest treasures. Produced in the years following World War II, when the United States Mint was transitioning back to regular copper coinage after experimenting with steel cents in 1943 due to wartime metal shortages, the 1946 penny became a fascinating relic of that era. During this period, leftover materials and experimental metal compositions sometimes made their way into production, leading to coins with unexpected characteristics that would later become immensely valuable. It is believed that one particular 1946 Wheat Penny, now valued at $152 million, was struck on a planchet made from a leftover wartime alloy containing traces of steel or silver, giving it a slightly different tone and weight from standard copper coins. This subtle variation went unnoticed for decades until coin experts, using advanced metal analysis, discovered that the coin possessed a unique composition unlike any other known 1946 cent. Adding to its mystique, this coin also features multiple striking errors, including a dramatic double die obverse where the date, 1946, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," appear distinctly doubled to the naked eye, as if the coin had been struck twice slightly out of alignment. The doubling is so sharp and defined that it almost looks like a shadowed engraving, a mistake caused by the hub and die misaligning during preparation at the mint. Such a visible and perfect doubling makes this penny a standout rarity, especially when combined with its metallic anomaly. On the reverse side, The wheat stalks that frame the words 1 cent and United States of America are slightly off-center, another indicator of a misaligned strike, and there are faint die cracks running along the rim, small, hairline fractures that occurred when a worn die continued to strike coins instead of being replaced. Every one of these tiny imperfections adds layers of history and rarity, each one contributing to the astronomical value this coin holds today. To collectors, the 1946 wheat penny represents not only a masterpiece of error but also a tangible snapshot of post-war America, a period when the mint was adjusting to peacetime production and occasionally reusing experimental materials to keep up with national demand. It's said that some of these coins may have been struck on leftover planchets intended for foreign coinage or on reprocessed steel blanks that were not properly plated, giving rise to unusual coloration, magnetic responses, and surface textures. The $152 million specimen, according to experts, has a slightly matte finish and a distinct grayish copper hue under certain light angles, an unmistakable sign of its unique metal composition. Another fascinating theory suggests that this coin was part of a limited batch of test strikes that somehow escaped destruction and entered circulation unnoticed. These experimental coins were often struck with higher pressure and on specially prepared blanks to test die alignment or durability, which would explain the crispness and depth of its doubled features. Such a combination of minting anomalies is virtually impossible to replicate, which is why this particular 1946 penny has become a legend among collectors. Its story grew even more intriguing when rumors spread that the coin had once been in the possession of a retired mint employee's family who kept it for decades, unaware of its significance, until it was eventually authenticated by professional graders who confirmed its authenticity and unmatched rarity. Since then, it has been insured for $152 million and is considered one of the crown jewels of American coinage. Beyond the physical errors, part of what makes the 1946 wheat penny so valuable is its symbolism. It represents a bridge between eras, a coin that carries the remnants of wartime innovation and the hope of post-war prosperity. Every scratch, every minute variation in its design tells a story of human craftsmanship, industrial precision, and the occasional beautiful mistake that no machine could intentionally reproduce. Even the tiniest inconsistencies, such as the thickness of the rim or the faint die polish marks near Lincoln's portrait, serve as fingerprints of the moment it was made, forever distinguishing it from the billions of other wheat pennies that rolled off the presses. Collectors are drawn to such coins not only for their rarity but for the sense of wonder they evoke, a reminder that incredible value can emerge from the most ordinary of objects. The fame of the 1946 wheat penny has sparked renewed interest in coin hunting, with thousands of people searching their old jars of coins, pocket change, and inherited collections, hoping to find a piece of history that could change their lives. It's not just about the money, it's about the excitement of discovery, the thrill of uncovering something lost to time that connects us directly to the past. The coin's astronomical valuation also reflects the emotional and cultural weight it carries in the numismatic world. Collectors see it not merely as metal, but as art, history, and luck combined, a miracle of circumstance that could never be recreated. In auctions, similar rare pennies with errors have fetched astonishing sums, but this one stands apart because it possesses a perfect storm of traits, an error type that is both dramatic and visually striking, a composition anomaly verified through scientific testing, an impeccable state of preservation, and a compelling backstory that captures the imagination. When viewed under magnification, experts have noted tiny die chips around Lincoln's eye and jawline, creating what appears to be a faint raised outline, sometimes referred to as the teardrop variety by collectors. This adds yet another unique identifier to an already complex coin. Additionally, microscopic analysis revealed die flow lines radiating from the rim toward the center, suggesting it was struck with slightly excessive pressure, which deepened the details and created a beautiful, high-relief effect rarely seen in circulation coins of that era. These subtle factors all contribute to the staggering $152 million appraisal, making it one of the most valuable and scientifically significant coins ever documented. The coin's fame has also inspired countless myths and urban legends, stories of similar pennies found in old barns, antique shops, or change drawers, each one fueling the dream that another hidden treasure might still exist. Whether those tales are true or not, they keep the legend alive and ensure that every coin enthusiast keeps searching. In the grand history of American minting, the 1946 Wheat Penny stands as a symbol of serendipity, proof that even routine processes can produce moments of accidental brilliance. Its existence reminds us that perfection is not always planned and that mistakes, in the right context, can become priceless. As technology advances, more sophisticated methods of detecting and analyzing coin errors continue to emerge, yet the human element of wonder remains at the heart of collecting. Holding such a coin, one can't help but marvel at its journey, minted in a time of transformation, surviving decades of change, and ultimately being recognized as a masterpiece of rarity and historical value. So, the next time you find a 1946 penny, take a closer look, inspect its date, study Lincoln's profile, and pay attention to the smallest details, because hidden within that copper surface might be a treasure worth more than you can imagine. The beauty of numismatics lies in discovery, and the story of the $152 million 1946 Wheat Penny is a testament to that truth. What began as a simple coin has become a legend that inspires millions to look a little closer, to appreciate history's imperfections, and to dream big from something so small. Like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable finds that may be waiting just a pocket's depth away from changing your life forever. Next, 1958 Wheat Penny USA coin. Everyone to another unbelievable story from the fascinating world of rare coins, where a single mistake in minting can transform an ordinary penny into a piece of treasure worth more than you could ever imagine, and today's spotlight shines on the 1958 Wheat Penny, a small copper coin that has shocked the numismatic community by reaching an incredible value of $151 million. Making it one of the most valuable coins in United States history because of its extraordinary errors, mysterious variations, and the once-in-a-lifetime circumstances surrounding its creation. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that looks almost identical to any regular penny you might find in change, yet this tiny piece of metal carries a fortune worth more than entire collections combined. The 1958 Wheat Penny, struck at the Denver Mint in the final year before the beloved wheat reverse design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, represents the end of an era and the beginning of one of the greatest mysteries in coin collecting. This specific penny, now valued at $151 million, owes its astronomical price not only to its rarity but also to a series of minting mistakes and production anomalies that have made it an unmatched phenomenon in American numismatic history. During 1958, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln wheat pennies, yet among these billions of copper coins, one emerged with a unique set of characteristics so exceptional that it would later be recognized as one of the greatest minting errors of the 20th century. The most famous feature of the 1958 penny is its dramatic double die obverse, an extremely rare and visually stunning error in which the inscriptions and date appear sharply doubled, as if the coin's design had been printed twice. Under normal circumstances, a die used for striking coins is created when the master hub impresses the design once, but in rare cases, if the hub and die are misaligned even slightly during the process, it results in a doubling effect on all subsequent coins struck by that die. In the case of the 1958 penny, the doubling is so clear and bold that even the naked eye can detect it, especially on the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1958. However, experts have determined that the $151 million specimen is no ordinary double die. It may be an experimental hybrid coin, possibly created using test hubs or transitional materials, making it a one-of-a-kind marvel. This particular coin's surface texture, metallic composition, and striking depth are unlike any other wheat penny known to exist. Researchers believe it may have been struck on a leftover experimental planchet from earlier test batches used to prepare for the upcoming memorial cent design transition. If that theory holds true, the coin would represent not only an error but also an accidental prototype, a priceless artifact that bridges two historic designs. Adding to its uniqueness, microscopic analysis has revealed multiple layers of doubling, suggesting that the die may have shifted more than once before being hardened for production. This results in a fascinating triple-layer effect visible under magnification, a phenomenon so rare that no other coin in the Lincoln cent series exhibits it in such perfection. Furthermore, the coin displays subtle die cracks running across Lincoln's shoulder and into the rim, as well as faint raised lines across the obverse field caused by die polishing at the mint, details that authenticate its originality and confirm that it was indeed struck under extraordinary circumstances. Some experts have even speculated that this coin might have been a product of a special test strike performed after hours by mint workers experimenting with pressure and die alignment, unaware that they were creating what would become one of the most valuable coins in the world. The 1958 Wheat Pennies journey from a simple piece of copper to a multi-million-dollar masterpiece is a testament to the unpredictable beauty of human error and craftsmanship. The Denver Mint, known for its consistency and high-quality output, had rarely produced significant die errors, making any such discovery from that facility even more remarkable. The fact that the coin survived undamaged for decades adds to its legendary status. It's believed that this particular coin may have been set aside by an employee or collector soon after minting, perhaps due to its unusual appearance, and remained hidden in a private collection until its true value was finally recognized by professional graders in the late 20th century. Once authenticated, its fame spread rapidly through the numismatic world, drawing global attention as collectors, investors, and historians marveled at its perfection through imperfection. Beyond the doubling, another factor contributing to the coin's astronomical value is its exceptional condition. Experts have graded it at the highest levels possible, with flawless luster, razor-sharp details, and no visible wear, making it a near-perfect preservation of history. Under magnification, the coin's fields, the flat area surrounding the design, are mirror-like, indicating it may have been struck with specially polished dies, a characteristic usually reserved for proof coins rather than regular circulation strikes. This has led some researchers to propose that the 1958 D-era penny could have originated as a presentation or prototype strike rather than a circulation coin, giving it both historical and artistic significance far beyond its face value. The fascination doesn't stop there. In addition to the obverse doubling, experts have noted slight misalignments on the reverse side, particularly around the De Pluribus Unum inscription and the wheat stalks, hinting that the planchet may have shifted minutely during striking. These imperfections, invisible to casual observers but unmistakable to trained eyes, add layers of intrigue and make the coin story even richer. The $151 million valuation might sound like fiction, but in the world of numismatics, rarity, historical context, and uniqueness combine to create values that transcend logic. When a coin is the only one of its kind, and when it carries the weight of historical transition, minting mystery, and visual appeal, its worth becomes immeasurable. The 1958 Wheat penny represents that perfect storm, a convergence of accident, preservation, and timing that created an artifact no one could ever intentionally reproduce. For collectors, it embodies the dream of finding unimaginable wealth hidden in plain sight, and its discovery has inspired countless treasure hunts across America. Every day, people sift through coin rolls, search antique shops, and inspect old jars of pennies, hoping to find a piece of history like this one, a coin that could turn ordinary pocket change into generational fortune. From a historical perspective, the 1958 penny also carries the emotional weight of an era of change. It was struck during the final year of the beloved wheat reverse design that had graced the penny since 1909, symbolizing America's agricultural strength and perseverance. The following year, the design would shift to the Lincoln Memorial, marking a new chapter in U.S. coinage. Thus, the 1958 penny stands as a symbolic farewell, a coin born from both the end of one era and the accidental preview of another. Its value lies not just in its errors, but in its representation of transition, craftsmanship, and the unintentional beauty of imperfection. The story of this coin also highlights an important truth about collecting, that value is not always determined by design or intent, but often by the unpredictable quirks of history. A single slip in alignment, a tiny flaw in metal, or a forgotten experiment can create something priceless, something that connects generations through shared wonder. In that sense, the 1958 Wheat penny is not just a coin but a time capsule, an artifact that embodies the skill, labor, and humanity behind America's minting legacy. It serves as a reminder that even the smallest, simplest things can hold unimaginable worth if they carry a story worth telling. For anyone passionate about coins, history, or the thrill of discovery, the legend of the 1958 Wheat Penny is both inspiration and invitation to look closer, to search carefully, and to never underestimate what might be hiding in the ordinary. Because one never knows when a small copper coin could hold the key to a life-changing fortune. So, keep your eyes open, check your coins, and never overlook the details that make each piece unique. The next great treasure could be resting in the palm of your hand, waiting for someone to recognize its brilliance. Like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about rare coins, hidden errors, and the incredible fortunes that lie buried within the most ordinary pieces of change. Last 1954 Wheat Penny USA coin. Everyone to another fascinating and mind-blowing story from the incredible world of rare coins where a small piece of copper, something you might easily overlook in your pocket change, has turned out to be worth an astonishing $150 million because of its mysterious errors, minting flaws, and historical significance that make it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in American history. And today we are diving deep into the unbelievable tale of the 1954 Wheat Penny, a coin that continues to shock collectors, historians, and numismatists around the world with its rare combination of mint mistakes and near-perfect preservation that has elevated it to legendary status. The 1954 Wheat Penny was produced at the San Francisco Mint during a period when the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for nearly half a century, and while millions of these coins were minted that year, only one or two examples have surfaced with the extraordinary set of errors and anomalies that have made this specific piece worth a fortune beyond imagination. This particular 1954 penny, valued today at $150 million, is not just any ordinary cent. It is a perfect storm of minting mishaps, metal irregularities, and die misalignments that together created something truly one of a kind. To understand why it holds such immense value, we must first look at how coins are normally made. In the minting process, a blank metal disc, known as a planchet, is fed between two dies under tremendous pressure to imprint the coin's design. When everything goes right, each coin looks identical. However, when something goes even slightly wrong, the results can be extraordinary. The 1954 Wheat Penny displays multiple minting errors that are instantly visible to trained eyes and even noticeable to the naked eye. Most strikingly, it features a strong double die on the obverse side, where the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear doubled with crisp, clear separation. The doubling is also evident in the numerals of the date, 1954, making it one of the boldest examples of this error type ever recorded for any San Francisco issue. Experts have confirmed through microscopic imaging that the doubling was not caused by post-mint damage or mechanical slippage but by a genuine die misalignment during the hubbing process when the die received two impressions from the master hub that were slightly off-center. This resulted in each subsequent coin struck by that die showing the iconic doubled image that collectors treasure so highly. But the doubling is only the beginning. This particular coin also exhibits an extraordinary off-center strike, meaning the coin was not perfectly aligned between the dies during minting, causing part of the design to be shifted and leaving a wide, unstruck crescent along one edge. What makes this off-center strike so fascinating is that it still preserves all the important design elements, including the complete date and mint mark, making it a visually stunning and rare example of controlled chaos in the minting process. On top of that, metallurgical testing revealed that this penny was struck on a slightly different alloy than the standard bronze composition used in that era. Instead of the typical 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc combination, this coin shows traces of silver and nickel, metals not usually present in the standard planchets of the time, which suggests that it may have been struck on an experimental or leftover planchet intended for another denomination or even a test piece. Such anomalies are virtually unheard of from the San Francisco Mint, which had some of the strictest quality control standards of any U.S. mint facility. That makes this coin's existence even more mysterious. Another distinctive feature of the $150 million 1954 Wheat Penny is the die clash marks visible on both sides of the coin. Die clashes occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring faint outlines of each side's design onto the opposite die. As a result, parts of Lincoln's bust can be seen faintly mirrored behind the wheat stalks on the reverse, while portions of the wheat design can be faintly seen near Lincoln's shoulder on the obverse. These clash marks are not only aesthetically fascinating but also serve as proof that the coin was genuinely struck in the mint under unusual circumstances rather than being tampered with later. What further adds to its legend is its impeccable condition. This coin has been graded by professional numismatic experts as virtually flawless, with sharp details, blazing original luster, and no visible signs of circulation or handling. Its surfaces are exceptionally well preserved, almost mirror-like, indicating it may have been struck with fresh dies and carefully stored immediately after minting, possibly as part of a presentation or test batch that was never meant to reach the public. In addition, the mint mark S itself shows a unique phenomenon known as repunching, where the letter appears to have been stamped twice, slightly misaligned, creating what collectors refer to as an RPM, repunched mint mark, variety. The combination of double die obverse, off-center strike, repunched mint mark, die clashes, and unusual metal composition makes this coin a perfect storm of minting anomalies, each of which would be valuable on its own but together creates something priceless. The story of its discovery only adds to the allure. According to collectors' reports, the 1954 S-era penny was first identified decades later in a private estate collection in California, where it had been kept in a small box of old copper coins for over half a century. When experts finally examined it under magnification, they were stunned by what they saw, a coin unlike anything they had ever encountered. Once authenticated and certified, it immediately became the centerpiece of multiple exhibitions, with some collectors calling it the Mona Lisa of pennies. Over time, private collectors and wealthy investors began offering astronomical sums for it, driving its valuation to the current $150 million mark. Its appeal lies not just in its rarity but in its symbolism. It represents the unpredictable beauty of imperfection, the way a single mechanical slip in the mint can transform an everyday object into a priceless artifact. From a historical perspective, the 1954 S penny also carries emotional weight as it was minted during the post-war years when America's economy and culture were rapidly transforming. It marked the tail end of the beloved wheat penny design that had been in circulation since 1909, a design that honored Abraham Lincoln and symbolized both national unity and agricultural strength. The San Francisco Mint, known for producing some of the finest coins in the series, closed its doors for regular coinage production just a few years later, making late San Francisco wheat pennies like this one even more historically significant. In the broader world of coin collecting, the 1954 S-era penny serves as a reminder that extraordinary value often hides in plain sight. Every year, new discoveries are made in jars, drawers, and collections where people never thought to look. For collectors, this coin is the ultimate dream, a tiny, unassuming piece of copper that could change a person's life overnight. It embodies the thrill of discovery and the fascination with history that keeps the hobby alive. Each scratch, mark, and error tells a story of human craftsmanship, technology, and chance. When viewed under magnification, the intricate lines of doubling and the minute texture variations serve as visual proof of how the smallest mistakes can produce works of art worth millions. It's no exaggeration to say that the 1954 S wheat penny represents a piece of living history, connecting the artistry of the past with the passion of modern collectors. Experts believe that as time goes on, the value of such unique coins will continue to rise, not only because of their scarcity but also because they represent something irreplaceable, a tangible connection to a bygone era and the fascinating unpredictability of the minting process. The $150 million valuation might sound unbelievable, but in the numismatic world, rarity, story, and condition combine to create values that defy ordinary logic. This coin is the definition of once in a lifetime. So, if you ever come across a 1954 S wheat penny, take a close look. Examine the date, the mint mark, and the lettering. Look for doubling, off-centering, or any irregularities that set it apart. Who knows? You might be holding the next great treasure the next piece of numismatic history waiting to be rediscovered. Always remember that fortune often hides in the smallest and simplest places, and the next legendary find might be sitting quietly in your change jar. Keep your eyes open, keep your curiosity alive, and never underestimate what an ordinary coin can become when history, error, and luck converge. Like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about rare coins, incredible discoveries, and the hidden treasures that continue to astonish collectors around the world.